Alright, hey guys, how's it going? So I got a great song for you today. We're going to do Dreams by the Cranberries. I heard this song the other night during the ending credits of a movie that I was watching. I had the guitar in my hands, sat there and figured it out. I don't think I'd ever learned this song before, or any of their songs really. I always liked them, heard them a lot growing up. They were a huge band. When I think of the Cranberries, I always think of the movie Clueless. And that guy is in class and he raises his hand. He's like, hey, I gotta go. I left my Cranberries CD in the quad. It's like, yeah. So that's how big that band was at the time. But anyway, so I figured out all the vocal melody that we can play too. So I'll show you if you want to lay down like a little backing track for yourself. You can play over with some of the vocal melody. It's a lot of fun to play. But let's just go ahead and get into the intro. Alright, so there's two different parts to the intro. You have the beginning part where you have the overdriven tremolo strums that are real aggressive. And then the second part gets to be clean with that clean tremolo where he's doing the arpeggiated picking patterns out of the chords. And so we'll start out with the overdrive part, right? So I'm going to leave the tremolo off so you can hear it better. But we're just going to go E major, A major 7 to B7, right? Nothing to it with the left hand, but the right hand is what makes it sound the way it does. So you can mess around with it. I'm just kind of using my own feel and just how I hear this song in my memory. So I like to start out, you have open 2 2 1, open open for your E major. And instead of doing something like this, which sounds just fine, I do that on the other two chords, but for the beginning I like to start with my pick on the high E towards the bridge and just do like a slow rake back on the strings, just go up from E to E, high to low, and then just pick towards the back of the bridge and then strum down on like the E, A, and D. After E major, we go to A major 7. Yeah, mute out the E, have open A, 2 on D, 1 on G, 2 on B, open E. And I'll just do a down, up, down for that. Then we're going to take the same shape, move it back a set of strings. So you'll have 2 on A, 1 on D, 2 on G, open B and E, mute out the E. Okay, I'll do the same thing, that down, up, down. And then I like to wait a couple beats and kind of hit some open strings. I just think it sounds cool. It's kind of just like a feel thing. And then we'll go back to E major, play it the same way we opened the song, right? Okay, so after your E major, do the same thing, pick it backwards, or you can strum it however you want to play it, right? And And then to end it, we'll do 2 down hits before we get into the clean picking part, right? So I think I played it a little earlier in my intro because of the way I had the drum beat set up, but they play it 8 to 1. Donna, if you count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Like, however you want to count it, but that's kind of how I hear it anyway. But, so that's that whole part, right? So the whole intro. Okay, so that's the overdriven part for the intro. Now let's get into the clean arpeggiated picking part. Alright, so for the second part of the intro, after we do those overdriven strums, then you kick off your overdrive and we just have like a clean tremolo effect. And we're going to outline and arpeggiate those chords. Now I like to form and fret the full chord, even though we're not going to play every note out of it. I just think it makes it just kind of easier in my mind to play that way. And I'm going to hit the root note of each chord we're going to. So we'll outline E, A major 7, and B7. And I'm going to hit the root note, I'm going to hit E, then I'm going to hit A, then I'm going to hit B. And then we'll just be playing on the B and G strings the whole time. On the recording, it doesn't sound like he hits the root note. It sounds like he's just playing on the B and G strings. But I think it sounds fuller this way. I think it sounds better this way if you're playing it in a band, so there's no like dead space. And I think it's just better for practicing your alternate picking in general, right? So we'd have the it's very similar. I'll turn the tremolo off for teaching it, but it's very similar to like the Smashing Pumpkins' Tonight Tonight. I think this song came before it, but it's kind of got that feeling that you just keep that right. So we're basically just going to hit the open E, form your E major, open 2 2 1, open, and we're just going to be fretting and playing though the low E, the G, and the open B string, right? I just think it makes it easier. You could just put your index finger down, but I think it's easier just to fret the whole chord. So hit open E, then open B, then 1 on G, then go back to open E, then hit open B to G again. Okay, then hit open E, back to open B. Then we'll hit open B, hit it twice, kind of make it staccato, kind of mute it out with your pick, and then go B twice to G, and then back to open B and G. Alright, so you have okay, so that'll be your E, and then what I'll do is I'll mute out the low E that's ringing with my thumb, and then I'm going to take my middle finger off of 2 on A, and then just hit the open A string, right? And then we'll just pick open A to open B to 1 on G. Okay, it'll be the same picking pattern as before, right? Rather than like bore you and spend 5 minutes going over it each time, I guess I can, but it's kind of just the same exact thing we're doing each time, right? Open A, open B to 1 on G, back to open A, back to open B to 1 on G, from open A back to open B, then hit open B twice, back to open A, and then pick open B to 1 on G, right? So that'll be your A, and then here I'll form my B7, 2 on A, 1 on D, 2 on G, open B. But I'm not ever going to hit the D string, right? I'm just going to be playing the A, the B, and the G. Okay, and then you just pick the same way. A on 2, open B to G on 2, back to A on 2, and then open B to G. Okay, it's the same picking pattern as all the other ones. And then back to open E. pick the same thing we did in the intro there, right? So real slow, let's go through them all. Okay, so that's your intro. You can add the tremolo on and just kind of play around with that. The speed is the main thing to get right with the tremolo, so you're not too like crazy with it, you know, sounding all super springy and boingy. But that's the whole intro part, and then we get into the vocal melody. So let's go ahead and get into the vocal melody part. Alright, so for the vocal melody part, we're going to be playing all 6 out of E major, and then we'll switch keys and play some 6 out of G major when we get to the end of the verse. So pretty much through the verse lines, we'll just repeat the same figure twice. So we'll play one pattern, play it twice, then we'll play a different pattern, and we'll play that twice, and then the key change will happen, and then we'll play something different that kind of mimics her like falsetto kind of yodeling thing that she does at the end. But really we're just going to have everything we do at the beginning is going to all be on the D and B strings. Okay, so all hybrid picking, pick on D, middle finger on B. I'm going to slide in from 7 to 9. Give as much vibrato as you want, however you want to hear it, right? Then we're going to slide in 11 on D, 11 on B, to 13 on D, and 12 on B. Okay, then I'm going to slide back. I'm not really... I guess if you had to call a specific fret, I'm kind of doing like a quick like ghost slide and just trying to mimic the way she phrases it. But I guess I go from like 14 on A to 12 on G and just slide very quickly into 11 on A and 9 on G. But you don't really want to hear, you know, you're not actually playing the notes, you're just kind of picking a spot. You can slide from anywhere really, and it's still going to sound the same. It's just kind of like a ghost slide thing, right? So that'll be your first part. Okay, then we'll walk it down, changing every day. Okay, so now we're going to slide into 11 on D, and then we'll pop B on 10. Then we'll go 7 to 5 on D and B. And after you go 7 to 5 on D and B, pluck those. We'll go 6 and 5 D and B, to 6 on D and B, to 7 on D B. Alright, so you have, give a little wiggle. Okay, in every possible way. So we'll slide in, I kind of slide into like 11 on D, and then I'll pop 11 and 10 twice. Then go up to 13 and 12, D and B, hit that once. Then slide in from 7 to 9 on D and B. And now we're going to slide back from 9 to 5 and 6 on D and B. Okay, this is a slide where you slide back on the D string from 7 or from 9 to 6. And then you're going to pull off from B and just kind of let on to 5 on the B string, right? You just kind of let off around the 6th fret with the B string with your ring finger, and then just don't pick it again, just let it slide off. The more volume you have, or if you have an overdrive going, I just had clean in the intro, it might have been hard to hear, but that's what the effect you're going for, right? So all together real slow. Okay, so that'll be the first part, and then you just repeat that a second time, right? Still the same phrasing, just play the same thing again. Okay, then the drums kind of, and then the little picking pattern. That part comes in, and the drums change, and then we get into the second part of the intro, right? and then we'll do this little and then it's pretty much the same. There's like a slight little variation, but it's pretty much the same thing twice, right? So after you finish the first part of the vocal melody, the second vocal melody that we'll repeat twice, we'll go 6 on D and 5 on B. I'm going to pick it twice on 6 and 5, and then go down to 4 on D and B, and then just go 6 and 5 to 4 D and B, just hit them each once. And after you hit 4 on D and B that second time, we're going to go up to G and E on 4, hit it once. Then we're going to go 8, 7 G and E to 6 and 5 G and E. Okay. Okay, and after 6, 5 G and E, we're going to go back to 6 and 5 on D and B. I'll just kind of pluck this like twice. Go back to 4 on DB. Hit it twice again. And then just hit them each once. Okay, then we'll slide in 6 to 7 on D and B. And then we'll, because it came from you, whatever she sings. So then we'll hit 6 and 5 D and B twice, then 4 on D and B, then 2 on D and B, back to 4 on DB, then 6 and 5. And then you hit the low E string with it, right? So the second time, just repeat that same thing again, does it the second time. Okay, so that'll be the first 2 lines of your verse that you can just repeat twice, and then we get into the key change at the end where we go from G to C. So let's go ahead and get into the key change. Okay, so for the key change at the end of the verse, we're just going to be going from G to C. Really, all we're doing is just... I like to throw in this little chord at the end. The bass definitely goes to D, but I like to play it. I think it sounds cool. I think it has a nice resolve. So just G major, your standard G major, 3-2, open, 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 3 on the high E. Strum it however you want. And then I'll play like a C add 9. Mute out the E, just have 3 on A, 2 on D, open G, 3 on B, open E. And then back to G, and back to C. And then however many times it does that, but the last time after you go to C, play it's like a D sus4, I think. We'll have 5 on the A string, mute out the E. Have 4 on D, open G, 3 on B, open high E, and then go to your E major, and then you resolve back into your verse. So that'll be that whole, all the chords you need to play that little refrain at the end of the verse. Okay, so those will be all the chords, and then with the vocal melody part, we're just going to do all these 6 out of G major. This is kind of like a little tricky because it's the way she phrases it. I was like, man, how am I going to figure that out? But I found a way. It's like 95% there, but it's all just kind of like vibrato and timing and sliding, trying to mimic what she's singing. So I may mess this up. I may kind of forget how it goes, but kind of bear with me. It's like a... get back into the opening verse melody, right? So basically we're just going to be working on the G and E strings the whole time. We'll have 4 on G, 3 on E, kind of vibrato these as you see fit, and we'll slide in 5 to 7 on G and E, go back and we'll just pluck 5 to 7 G and E. Then we'll do this little walk down. We'll go 9 and 8 G and E to 7 to 5 to 4 and 3 G and E. Alright, so you have. Okay, then we're going to go. So then we'll hit 4 and 3 G and E again. Then hit 5 on G and E. Then I'm going to slide back from 6 and 5 G and E to 4 and 3. Okay, so that'll be so far. Then pause after you go back to 4 and 3. Then slide back up 5 to 7 G and E. Then pick it. Then we're going to do this walk down twice. Okay, after you go 5 to 7. Then we'll go 9, 8, 7, 5 to 4 and 3. Repeat it again. Then the last time we'll hit G and E on 5. Then we're going to hit an E major triad. I'm going to hit G with my pick on 9, and then have my middle finger on B and my ring finger on E. So you have 9, 9, 7, G, B, and E. You don't have to play it that way. You can strum it. Have however you pick it, whatever you want to do, right? So that's that whole vocal melody for the bridge, so real slow. Alright, so that'll be the whole vocal melody there, and that's everything, right? So it's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun being real aggressive with your right hand. I love playing that way. That and like playing ska, like two of my favorite ways to like play rhythm guitar, doing that kind of thing. And then you can work on your tone. Tone gets a little muddy when you record with a tablet like I do, like I said, but you know, just mess around with the tremolo and the overdrive. That's really all that's going on, some reverb. But kind of mess with your pickup settings. I'm using the middle position of the telly, but kind of adjust your tone knob a little bit so it's not too brittle. And that's everything, right? So it's a great way to work on your alternate picking, work on your timing with your rhythm, your strumming, and then just working on your hybrid picking with the vocal melody and everything. So that's it. Just practice slow, have fun. I'll see you next time.